Good afternoon, Seoul. I hope you're having a good day. We are very grateful that so many of you made it to our event on a Friday. I hear that's less usual, so thank you for taking your time to learn a bit what Criteo can bring to you, to ad tech in Korea. My name is Marc Fischli. I lead the international markets business for Criteo, and it's a pleasure to be back in Seoul. What I want to share with you today is the next area of commerce intelligence. We have had the rise of AI, first starting with the predictive, then the generative, now into the Agentic AI, and it's going at a speed that I in my career have not seen. It's super exciting, but it also is something that as an industry we need to embrace, and we can really go to get fantastic new opportunities. It will change our industry quite a bit and fast, but it will also create new opportunities for us. Let me talk you through that. So commerce is changing. Couple of things that we see and observe. AI and specific agentic AI is helping us consumers to make decisions faster, more efficiently. It is also changing the shopper journey. The linearity of the funnel is starting to go away. And rather than have a string, you have a sort of more of a spaghetti bowl of different strings that are interacting. People do shopping sometimes on 2 or 3 different screens at the same time. They go from different stages of the funnel or the channel as we know it traditionally in their shopper journey. AI gives us an opportunity to manage and direct these touch points with the consumer. And what that also means is that old definitions that we used, things like retail media or retargeting, might become therefore a bit too narrow. And we need to look at the whole universe in a much more unified way. So what are we doing as Criteo to thrive with you, our partners, in this new world? This is our mission statement: to power intelligent commerce everywhere it happens. Words are always important. Specifically in a mission statement, they tend to be very important. So let me cover a couple of them. To power, for us, means that we are planning to be the engine which helps you to interact in this new AI-driven world with your clients. Intelligent means that we're using some fantastic Criteo assets, like our database, where we know how people interact on the web, on app, how they buy, and also the insights that we can drive from that. That new intelligence driven at scale by the AI opportunities is that intelligence part in that. Commerce, yes, a lot of these interactions happen when we are shopping. They happen in e-retail, but also a lot of other services that are offered on the internet, on apps, are also driven by this new revolution. So things like travel, for example, or recruiting. And then everywhere it happens goes back a bit to what I've said earlier on the shopper journey, becoming more of a spaghetti bowl than a linear string. With that, we have the opportunity to actually meet the consumers at each one of those potential touch points where they make decisions wherever they happen to be on that funnel journey as it was. So that's our mission statement. Let's look a bit about what we have learned about how consumers today use AI, and specifically agentic AI, and what that tells us about the future. The first point I would like to make is that we found in a consumer survey that we've done globally, including in Korea, with some 7,000 consumers, we've asked them how they use and interact with the different tools that AI offers today, and specifically around shopping and commerce. What they told us is that AI is one of many channels. Yes, it is a channel that they're using, but it is one of. What you see in the chart is that globally, still some 36%, but in Korea much higher, even 59% of consumers actually start their shopper journey on a marketplace. Places like Amazon or eBay, or in Korea, Coupang or Naver. So all of these things still exist in parallel. What we then also ask for is, what is the main use case that people get from Agentic AI today? And maybe not that surprisingly, it's around discovery and research. So if you want to higher up that funnel journey. 45% of shoppers say they use AI for comparisons, just to make sure that they can see what the pros and cons of a given product, for example, or service would be. 40% use it to make shoppers discover new things, and 31% of shoppers told us that they use it mostly for price comparisons or finding a good discount. So that gives us an indication of what the current use case is of AI. If there's one fact that you should keep in mind for today, we are early in this journey. Of the people that use Agentic AI today, a whole 96% of them use other channels as well, like social or traditional search. So as I said, these things happen quite a bit in parallel. So you'll hear a lot of things that we are bringing to market today as Criteo to work with you as our partners in this new world, and I'll summarize them under these 4 pillars here. So 4 things we're doing. The first is we're trying to make better outcomes for customers, consumers, end users, right? And we do these in a different amount of sets that we're looking at. 2 things that I'm highlighting here. The first one is what we call holistic page optimization. So you look on a given web page, which ad should go where for which consumer, and make sure you get the best result of that, whichever your KPI is, on putting the right ad in the right slot. The second one is around making sure relevancy at scale gets really to the next level. And specifically on on-site display in our retail media offering, we've got now a programmatic usage on both display as traditionally for the sponsored product piece as well. So that is out now as a new product coming out. So that's the first thing, right, which is probably mostly about the retail media offer that we have. The second bucket is around scalability. One of the things clearly that AI in its predictive, generative, and agentic form gives us is the opportunity to actually truly scale. The first piece that we're bringing out later in the year here in Korea will be a self-serve option. First tests are being there, where small and medium-sized businesses can actually go out and download from our website a version of our software, of our platform, do all the integrations themselves, run the campaign. It's very simple, 5 clicks, and get measurement, right? So that sort of self-serve piece for small and medium-sized businesses. And then we will look mostly through API integrations how we can get this to our larger enterprise clients as well with a managed service on top of that. So that scalability is one of the strategic pillars for us this year, and you're going to hear more about this today and throughout the year. The third pillar is around, actually the third and fourth are about agents that we put out there. The third is around agents to make your lives as marketers easier and more efficient. And the fourth is to make the interaction, the shopper journey of the consumer easier. And you will see a number of those things today in the different presentations, specifically about MCP. There's audience agents as well on the marketer side, and then there is, of course, how to do interactive shopping with a conversation on an agent, and you'll see those too. So to summarize, you will see a lot of new things that the industry is getting into, that we at Criteo offer to you to help you thrive in this universe. But a couple of things to remember around that. The first one is AI is an addition, it's additive to the stuff that we've already had. It will not redraw the borders, but it expands the map. The second is that consumers are getting used to the interaction with the different agents and the Agentic AI, and that trust element needs to be there. So we need to have the right relevance. If we give the right things to our consumers, they will happily actually share the data that we will need to make the AI really work and functional, but they will do that only if they get the right things in return. So that trust balance needs to be there, ongoing. And last but not least, we actually truly believe at Criteo that the whole AI revolution will increase the online part of advertising. So it's a great opportunity for all of us to go after this, renewed, more scientific, faster element and thrive in it. And at Criteo, we'd be delighted to be your partners on that journey. Thank you very much.